This is the episode where the protein argument officially dies. Because y'all been running my nerves on my page talking about you got to have meat. I'm not anti-meat, but I'm just trying to let you know you don't have to eat meat. Because if your last question was, but how do I get enough protein? Well, congratulations, you made it to the solution. And we're going to talk about it in detail. I'm the Prostate Cancer Guy. And today we're talking about the food that makes meat eaters very uncomfortable. Seitan? No, that was Dana Carvey. Seitan, S-E-I-T-A-N. Seitan. Seitan. Every conversation about plant-based eating ends the same way. I hear you, but I lift and I need protein. I'm not trying to shrink. Cool. So are monks, Tibetan monks. Yeah, monks. Monks figured, and when you think about it, the genius of these dudes or people, pretty damn impressive. Let me explain something to you, because this is where anthropology kicks in here. Over 1,000 years ago in China, Buddhist monks had a problem. They didn't eat animals, but they worked hard and they trained physically, practiced martial arts, and they needed real protein. So they looked at wheat and figured out some kind of way. What if we remove everything that isn't protein in wheat? That's not cooking. That's some serious ass engineering. My hat, much respect for my Asian brothers in Tibet on that one, because y'all did that thing. Let me explain to you what happened. They made dough, right, out of wheat. Then they washed it. Then they kept washing it. And they washed out the starch. And they kept washing it. And they washed out the sugar. What was left? The protein structure of wheat. Protein structure of wheat. Original protein source before animals. They called it mianjin, wheat muscle. We call it seitan, or Satan, some of y'all call that. We actually call it Vita wheat gluten. Seitan, or Satan, is what happens when wheat gets serious about its business, when it's about that life. That's what Seitan is, or Seitan. I want to pronounce it different because y'all keep saying Satan. I'm not talking about Beelzebub here. Let's talk numbers. Seitan is about 75 to 80% protein by calories, compared to chicken breast, compared to lean beef, but without cholesterol, without hemi iron, without saturated fat overload, and with high glutamine, which you have to buy as a supplement to utilize today. And that's for muscle recovery. High proline, connective tissue support. You'd have to do, peptides for that. And that's not a substitute. That is a serious ass and economical solution. Meat be like, eat me, but also deal with inflammation. Seitan is like, eat me, you can just live. You ain't got to worry about none of them complications that come with me. No heart problem, no cholesterol, none of that. But it's not a complete protein, people will argue. Relax. Neither is meat by itself. See, seitan is low in lysine, so you pair it with beans, and then boom, beans and seitan, or Seitan, boom, got it. And the monks figured that out 1,000 years ago without a nutrition podcast or a degree from a university. Okay? And before somebody jumps in and comments and yells, amino acids, let me help you out. This is why we prepare seitan with nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast adds B vitamins, including B12, often fortified, extra amino acid coverage. So now you've got high protein, better amino balance, nervous system support. That's not a gimmick. That's engineering on your plate. Meat eaters call that overthinking. But you know what them monks 1,000 years ago called it? Tuesday lunch, Wednesday dinner, and they kept kicking everybody's ass with all the muscles they had without eating a slab of meat, not a stretch, not a bite. Now here's where, and here's why this matters for recovery. After prostate cancer treatment, your body needs muscle retention, strength, anabolic support, but it does not need extra IGF-1 signaling. It does not need hormonal noise. It doesn't need chronic inflammation. Animal protein increases growth signaling of cancers. Seitan gives you structure without overstimulation. That's recovery smart protein. Remember your prostate is HR? Protein lifts without CCing HR. Now, something for athletes, because I lift myself. I do bodybuilding. If you lift, if you're rebuilding muscle, particularly after ADT, androgen deprivation therapy, if you want strength without feeding inflammation, Seitan belongs in the conversation. Not as ideology, but as equipment. Ancient monks didn't need steak to be disciplined. They had wheat and purpose. Now, the board is clear. Fruit fuels the brain. Roots, like yams and sweet potatoes and potatoes, stabilize survival. Beans handle baseline protein, and Seitan closes the strength gap, which brings us to the last question. If this worked for thousands of years, why did we stop eating this way? Next episode, we talk about the great diet swap or switcheroo, how survival food became a life sentence, and how we reversed the truth of eating as human beings. You don't need meat to be strong. You need compatibility with your genetics to thrive. And I'll see you in part 7. Might be a little controversial, but it's about time somebody said it. And since it's working for me, I got to show it to you so it can work for you too. It's for education and information purposes only. I'm not a doctor, but I sure am a prostate cancer survivor.